When one ends up in prison, there is a time to reflect on what that person has done to deserve such a fate. In most of the cases, they have committed multiple felonies and have not obeyed the law at all. That's why no one should ever sympathize with a thug.
Find the defendant guilty.
Here is a list of top 5 thugs and their reaction to life sentences. So here we go. Joseph's case was not minor because he was responsible for several crimes before he was eventually placed on death row. His criminal activity included armed robbery, burglary, kidnapping, and theft. He even went so far as to kill another person. A punishment less severe than hanging is inappropriate for a criminal of this level.
Count number 15, murder. They find the defendant guilty of murder in count 15.
But even a heartless killer like him would get tears in his eyes while witnessing his life end. And that was exactly the reaction Joseph had when the judge handed him a death sentence for his crime. In the end, his trust was vindicated.
I just want to let you know, man, I always loved you, man.
Next up on the list is Fudo Charles. This individual, known as Fudo, was the leader of a violent gang in South Florida before he was apprehended. As you can see, this individual has an intimidating appearance, and it isn't for nothing. He was finally arrested. He was given a prison sentence of 65 years. Only God knows the number of persons that have been put to death by him. And this is not even the end of it. He was also charged with racketeering.
Jury finds the defendant guilty of racketeering as charged in the indictment.
And the evidence showed that he was guilty of this. A statistical analysis of the crimes that Charles's gang perpetrated revealed that they were responsible for 150 gunshots and 14 homicides. Whatever it was that we stated about Fudo Charles, we take it all back, because Nico has a look down when it comes to being the most intimidating. Look at the numerous scars that cover his face. It's almost as if he was raised in a gang. For the cold-blooded murder of 4 individuals, including 3 men and a woman, Nico was given a sentence of 500 years in jail.
45 to 50 years to run consecutive to all murder convictions at counts 1, 4, 7, and 10.
The vicious, cold-blooded murderer received his sentence in the presence of the victim's relatives, who were present in the courtroom during the proceedings. Jenkins will be the 11th man on execution row in the state of Nebraska. Lewis had no humanity left in him when he committed such heinous crimes. These include killing 2 police officers. Before entering America illegally, he was a Mexican citizen. Furthermore, he was found guilty of murder in 2014 for the shootings of Sacramento County Sheriff's Deputy Danny Oliver and Placer County Sheriff's Detective Michael Davis.
Legal immigrant from Mexico was found guilty last month for the murders of 2 Sacramento area deputies in October of 2014.
He had such a demonic demeanor that when he was listening to his sentence, he didn't even flinch.
October 24th, 2014.
Instead, at the end, he gave a grin to the victim's family.
Eye of Danny's mother, Jerry, and clapping. She smiled back, her focus.
He was the walking definition of pure evil. Forget about killing someone else. This heartless man didn't even spare his own family members. He killed his 9-year-old daughter brutally and also ended his girlfriend's life.
Convicted killer Ronnie O'Neill sentenced to 3 life sentences today without the possibility of parole for...
This man had no sanity. Fortunately, his son was alive and he was there to testify against his father at the age of just 11.
How did I hurt you?
He stabbed me.
The judge sentenced Ronnie O'Neill to 3 life terms plus 60 years in prison to run consecutively for the murder of his girlfriend, daughter, and the attempted murder of his son.
Mr. O'Neill, I will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to life in prison with a minimum mandatory of life in prison without the possibility of parole.